Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix this bad boy together. Guys, what I'm about to show you right now is something that I did not expect to see. Chris Murphy, Mr. Chris Murphy, MrGiffords.org, Mr. Everytown for Gun Safety, never met a gun control he didn't like. He just blinked. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing because I have said it numerous times on this channel. They will always tell you what they are afraid of. By their actions, you will know them. And what Chris Murphy just did and is about to do on the floor of the Senate is extremely telling. And I've got everything for you right down there in the description box below. Everything I bring is linked. I always have those receipts for you guys so you can look at them, confirm the information, and share it out yourself. And please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because we are not just going to tell you what's going on here. We're going to tell you how we're going to fix it. A proactive step is incredibly important. All right, let's get into this, people. Make sure you continue to follow me at Braden LOA. We are cruising to 22,000 followers because of you guys, and thank you so much. The amount of exposure that this is sending our message across the board is insane, and it's all because of you guys, and thank you for that. All right, let's get into this. Now, this is something that we're still waiting on, and this is kind of a lead up into what we're talking about, right? So you guys are fully aware that the suppressors and the short barrels, the tax has been moved down to zero. So when it goes down to $0, that brings a very interesting scenario, because now you're in a position where you're still exercising the tax penalties and imposing the consequences, but you aren't collecting a tax. At the end of the day, you are actually actively prohibiting rights without any type of tax. I've said that several times now, probably for the last week and a half, and others have as well. There's been kind of different conversations around it. However, what we're waiting on right now is to see if J.D. Vance is going to come in and do what President Trump is implying here. Great Congressman Greg Stubbe is 100% correct. An unelected Senate staffer, the parliamentarian, should not be allowed to hurt the Republicans' bill. Wants many fantastic things out. No, Donald J. Trump. Now, what does that mean, and what does it mean for us? I couldn't tell you. He could just be venting. He could tell J.D. Vance to go in there and completely ignore her recommendations. That's all we really have at this point. If that happens, that happens. I can't guarantee you yay, nay, or indifferent. Okay? But that's an important piece to this. Now let me get to the point that I want to really highlight of who's pushing this. Now, I posted about this on my X profile a lot today. Republicans added a silencers policy that will cost $1.7 billion, an outrageous price tag for a policy that makes it easier to commit violence undetected. That's idiotic. You guys know as well as I do. The fact that suppressors exist does not make everything completely gone. Okay. It's physically reckless and morally indefensible. Billions of taxpayer dollars spent that endanger lives, not protect them. Okay, literally, just the world's smallest violin coupled with a whole bunch of lies. Just like they lied through the entire process of it's going to remove background checks for suppressors and short barrel rifles. Nope, complete lie. Just like they're saying it right here, all of a sudden we care about fiscal responsibility and that $1.7 billion when they're literally 10 seconds ago complaining about the fact that the $500 billion wasn't going to go to their non-governmental organizations for gun prevention. I mean, literally, it's a game. It is completely a game. But I want to show you what's happening right now. And even in a game, you can kind of tell where the opponent is by their forecasted moves. Check this out. Gun Owners of America just posted this about an hour ago. Breaking. Democrats plan to raise a point of order against the $0 NFA tax stamp provision in H.R. 1 tonight. Now, what does that mean? What that means is the Democrats plan to bring up a point of order against the actual tax stamp reduction down to zero. That's really important. Now, in order for the point of order to fully take hold, you have to have 60 votes. They don't have 60 votes. But they sure as hell are trying. Let me continue, and then I'll show you what this is probably about. Republicans must defeat this point of order, fire or overrule the parliamentarian, and fully repeal suppressors and short-barreled firearms from the NFA. Okay, the important part here is the top. Democrats plan to raise a point of order against the $0 NFA tax stamp provision in H.R. 1 tonight. Now remember, the whole argument this entire time has been against that evil, mean, no background checks, right? From gun controllers. Because it's just safety. It's crazy. It's so important This is what Gifford's saying. It's wasteful money. It's morally indefensible. It's fiscally reckless, right? Well, okay, then why are they doing this? Because their little pool boy, Chris Murphy, just said, or just did this. This is from one of the NRA guys. Senator Murphy's proposed amendment to the One Big Beautiful Bill to make the tax $1. That should perk your interest a little bit, or pique your interest a little bit. Because why would they care the difference between $0 and $1? That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference. Is it going to make all of a sudden magically the background checks come out? No. Does that make it more fiscally responsible, which is their original argument in this little post right here? Because after all, $1.7 billion is collected from the 700,000 suppressors from their math that they gave us. And that's how you get to the 1.7. So there's 700,000. Well, now you're going down to 700. Wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense. Why is it so important to go from $0 to $1? And why would Chris Murphy, who is the leading advocate and in the pocket of Every Town for Gun Safety and Giffords.org and Brady United, completely doing their bidding all the time in the Senate, maybe it's because he's nervous that a zero tax is a way to finally end the NFA. Now, what does he mean there? I'm going to explain it in a second. But isn't it weird that you'd want to increase the tax from 0 to 1 when 10 seconds ago it was the fact there's no background checks? That doesn't make any sense unless you're worried about something bigger, which is what he's alluding to right here. Remember that thing that I mentioned earlier in the video, and I've done several prior videos, where they're saying, where we're basically saying that it's fiscally irresponsible to cut the tax, but now they want to add the tax to $1? So $700,000 versus $1.7 billion? Does that make any sense? Maybe it has something to do with they've sniffed out a weakness and they are blinking because they've got to correct this, and if they don't, they are vulnerable. If the tax is at $0, that means you are enacting the power of taxation without collecting a tax, and you're infringing on people's rights, which means Giffords.org and Chris Murphy know they're infringing upon people's rights. So if they know they're infringing upon people's rights, and the only way that they can continue to keep doing that is by raising it $1. Interesting how Chris Murphy would want to do that when he needs 60 votes, but he doesn't have it. Isn't that strange? Oh, that's really super weird. I wonder if it has anything to do with that. Wonders never cease. But honestly, guys, and I know I'm being tongue-in-cheek with this, here's the point. Giffords.org just blinked. Every Town for Gun Safety and Brady United just blinked. They're using Chris Murphy to do a Hail Mary to try to get the amendment from $0 to $1 in order to insulate themselves from potential lawsuits in the future, which look pretty obvious, and they just now realized it. That's why you're seeing this. They may be nefarious. They may be, in my opinion, questionably evil. They're definitely tyrannical, but they're not stupid. That's why you're seeing such an incremental change, which seems innocuous, but now all of a sudden is incredibly important. Guys, they're blinking. They see a weakness, and we're going to push on it. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And, of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.